So we've got an All Blacks squad out, and it's a 38-man squad, and it's a really big squad, I think, for the All Blacks as they start their build-up to the World Cup. They were a little disappointing last year when they came to the Northern Hemisphere, so they're going to want to put that right in their own backyard. And Zach's going to come back with a video with a real deep dive on this. He's a Kiwi, he's going to have a deep knowledge of this, so I'm really looking forward to what he brings here. I'm just going to run through the squad and the team I would bring. So hooker-wise, no Asafa Amoa, that's kind of the headline there. Takiahu's in instead, but with Coles and Taylor, loads of experience. The list of props, I'm a bit disappointed that De Groot's not in. What an athlete he is. I'd be excited to see him charging around. But Aidan Ross is in, who certainly deserves it. Now, the locks are pretty much as expected. Whitelock, Retallick, Barrett Lord and Vai, so that's pretty standard there. Into the loose forwards and some interesting selections. Frizzell doesn't quite make it. He's only just come back from injury, so okay. Blackadder, I think, would have been in, so that's a big blow for him, but that's probably opened the door for Soakula to come in. But are there 3/8s in this squad? Do they need that? How are they going to use them in different positions? Sam Kane's there. I didn't see if he's been named captain, but I'm assuming he is. But I think he needs to not get handcuffed by captaincy. Does Foster. Papali'i, who's in great form. Surveyor, who's just still one of the best players in the world. Akira Ioane, he's been, up and down in form over the years, but he's in a real high spot at the moment. And considering there's not a lot of 6 options here, his prospects look really good. And then the talented young number 8, Satutu, is there as well. Into the scrum halves, and quite big news, TJ Perenara and Webber have been moved out of the squad, although may get a chance for the New Zealand Maori later when they play Ireland in those tour games, if you like. But, they may be struggling to find their way back in because Folau Fakatava is a fantastic player for the Highlanders. Second fiddle to Aaron Smith, but that's, no disgrace being second fiddle to Aaron Smith, who I think will probably start, but he's nursing a bit of an injury, I think. So if Smith's not available, I actually would have Fakatava on the bench in either situation, but Christie starting if Smith wasn't available. He's in fantastic form for the Blues. Now into the fly halves, we've got Stephen Perafita there for the Blues, who's kind of a utility player, can play fullback, can play fly half, so maybe being groomed as a potential number 23 if you like. Then the old battle there resumes between Beauden Barrett and Richie Mo'unga. I wonder who's going to come out on top. Now, a month ago, I was saying Beauden Barrett easily, but Mo'unga's in really good form, so that's a great battle. Who would you go for? Into the midfield, and plenty of interest here. We don't see Leonard Brown. He's still injured, and his spot may be swallowed up by some of these others. In the past, he was a starter. We do get Tuisava Sheck. What a player he is. What a talent. Still very fresh to rugby union, of course, but no player in New Zealand has the step in the offload game like him, I don't believe. So it's a real good chance to show what he can do. I do hope he gets a good run. Quinn Tupaia has been the incumbent 12, but he's under huge pressure from these other guys. We've got a returning Jack Goodhue, who's been a starter in recent times. Rico Ioane is there, and he's in great form at 13. I don't think anyone's really close to him in that position. Maybe Fainganuku's actually probably the closest, but he's kind of named in the outside backs. Havili, into better form. We know he underperformed when he came to the Northern Hemisphere last year, but he's in good form at the moment. A great all-round game. Into the outside backs. As I mentioned, Fainganuku is there. They need some physicality, I think, if Caleb Clark gets an injury, and I think he's a bit injured at the moment. They need a guy to swap in and out, so that makes a lot of sense. Plus, covering 13 adds some flexibility to the squad. Geordie Barrett's there, although there was much talk of maybe using him at 12, but with the options they've picked, I don't think that's going to happen unless there's like an emergency in a game. But he's got a battle on his hands for that fullback slot, or maybe he'll play on the wing. Will Jordan of the Crusaders is possibly the most talented back they have, just simply looks world class. Caleb Clark is a guy they probably need firing because he adds the power to that back line, and Sevu Reece is kind of a different sort of player, a ducker, a diver, very slippery and a fantastic finisher. So, what team would I go for? What starting 15 would I go for? And like I said, Zach's going to come in with a deep dive video, really analysing this squad and the team he'd go for as well. But for me, this is what I'd go for. I'd go for Bauer, Taylor and Tuinga Fasi as the best starting front row. It's going to be a big test for them against the Irish guys. That'll be a good matchup. I think you still go Whitelock and Retallick, but I see all the arguments for someone else starting there in the second row, as they are getting a little bit older now, but still a class act, plenty to offer. This is the back row I think they should go for. I think it's their best back row, and I don't think they should worry about the captaincy. There's plenty of leadership here. Whitelock could be the captain, Surveyor. Retallick's got loads of caps. Smith, Barrett. There's loads of experience here. They don't have to stay set on Kane, I don't think, because I think Ioane is the best 6 at the moment. Papali'i is the best 7 at the moment. And Ardie Surveyor is the best player at the moment, and he plays 8 then, because that's the one left over. Smith and Barrett, 9 and 10. Like I said, Mwanga is close, but it still edges Barrett because I think he just has that bit more attacking edge. And in the centres, I'm going for the plunge. I know Tuasava Sheck is very green, but I think get him in now. If you want him to play in the World Cup, get him in now. And he looks like that sort of player that could help you win a World Cup. I think some of the others are okay, but I think he is special. And All Blacks are all about the special, aren't they? Into the back 3, it's a tough choice. Now, I know I'm kind of playing Will Jordan out of position a bit, but he's so good. He's got to be in there somewhere. I think Geordie Barrett is super useful. His height, his long-range kicking game is useful, so I think it's worth having both of those guys. And then Caleb Clark, the power on one wing. So that's my starting 15. Let me know what you think. What would you go for? And I'll catch you next time.